Hello and welcome to the Spoilercast, Lonercast, Spoilercast for Shang Chi. We saw it. It took us a couple of days. We didn't see it right away. We saw it on Sunday.
It's Shang Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Remember, that's the joke. It's like
it's because it's really close to the word. His name's Sean. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be discussing Shang-Chi and how scrumptious this fucking movie is.
It's a scrumptious movie. It is.
It is a scrumptious movie, visually and otherwise.
Yeah.
Jake, what did you think of this movie? We saw it together at an AMC with a broken fucking speaker.
Yeah, that did kind of ruin it a bit.
That ruined some of like the more quiet moments.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "I'm gonna kill him," and I was like, "Okay, all I can hear is."
Yeah, that was kind of shitty. I need to rewatch the movie because of that. Actually,
yeah,
it ruined the experience a bit.
Some of those quieter moments were like, okay, this all I can hear is me.
It sucked because when it was like quieter, more dialogue heavy stuff, I'm like, I just want this to end. Because
kind of
speaker is so bad.
Like, this scene can't go on forever, right? And it would go on for a while. Like, damn, this is a really good scene, but I can't really give it my all.
But something I really liked about this movie is a lot of those scenes didn't go on too long because this movie was action packed, son. There was so many like awesome action scenes. Like the bus scene was amazing, and then the really scaffolding was awesome. The fight scene with his sister, you get to see Wong just like fucking own Abomination. The end battle scene, oh my god, dude, this movie was fucking awesome.
It was so fucking good.
This movie was like a hoot and a half.
So let's do a synopsis.
I would rate it. A hoot and a half.
A hoot and a half.
Yeah,
that's more than a hoot.
Maybe 2 hoots.
Maybe 2 hoots.
Maybe double hoots.
I like that. I like that mouth feel. 2 hoots.
That might get
maybe 2 hoots. Let's give a synopsis. So it's about this kid who actually it's about this father who has immortality, has lived for thousands of years because of these 10 rings that he wears around his wrist, and he's done pretty much everything to change the world the way he wants it to. He meets this lady, they have kids, she dies, he goes back to his old ways. He doesn't just
meet a lady. He meets like an airbender lady.
Yeah.
And they have this like very sexy fight scene.
Yeah, it's very the tension is
they
very
fight
high.
each other and then they like look at each other for like almost comically long.
Yeah. And she's like smiling and he's like, whoa.
And dude, that fight scene between the two of them was fucking awesome. When I saw that shit, I was like, oh my god, dude. Like Marvel has not had fight scenes like this.
Nope.
That I remember anyway. We're going through it, but
so he meets a lady, they have kids, she dies, the kids run away because the dad becomes a dick, and then he starts hearing her voice through something calls out in her voice, and he's like, I have to save your mother, her village has taken her and has imprisoned her, I have to save her. But it's actually like a demon behind a gate that's calling, and they have to stop their dad before they release like a plague of soul-sucking monsters into the world. So that's pretty much it.
Big dragon thing at the end, I will say as well, like on top of this movie just having incredible action and all of that and being like visually stunning, it has one of the best Marvel villains I have seen in any of the movies. Like, because normally the Marvel villains, besides like Thanos and Loki, those are kind of the like 2 iconic ones that are a bit more 3-dimensional, and Killmonger from Black Panther. But like most of the Marvel villains, be it like Obadiah Stane or Whiplash or all of those dudes, they're all kind of just like, I am Ant-Man but bad, I am Iron Man but bad. And this one, that is still kind of true, where it's like, I am Shang Chi, but bad. But it's his dad, and it's not just like I am a comic book villain. It is like so much more deep than that because he still loves his kids, and what he is doing is like understandable. He wants to like save his parents, and like when he kidnaps them, right? There's a scene where he like takes them and like kidnaps them. He traps them after the scaffolding fight scene, which is awesome.
Right.
He kidnaps them, and he's not just like, I'm gonna keep them imprisoned. It's like, hey, I missed you guys, I love you.
Yeah.
It's good to
Yeah.
see you. Like, fuck, it's been a while, huh? And it wasn't just like, I'm a bad man and I'm gonna do this because I'm bad. It was like, no, like you get his motives, and like
It was
you feel for him, and you feel for Shang and his sister, whose name I'm forgetting.
Xiaoling.
Something like that, yeah.
Um,
And you like feel for them too, having to fight their dad because they understand their dad as well.
right.
But like,
It's very much Darth Vader.
yeah,
in
sort of, yeah.
Return Empire, not Return of the Jedi, where he's
Mhm.
like, "Hey, you're a Jedi now, and there's a mutual respect here. You're my son. You know it. You know I'm your dad. You know like who we are, and there's like that respect there. That's very much the same in this, where it's just like, hey, I just want to level with you here. This is my plan, and it's really cool the way they do it, and they just don't agree. So then he's like, well, if you're not going to help me, you're just going to get in the way, and that's true. They do get in the way.
Yeah.
But
Which is good.
yeah,
It's good they did.
the cast in this movie was really good. Even Aquafina, like I saw
liked her a
Raya. I saw Raya the Last Dragon, and that movie has some really like deep meanings behind it, deep morals, I guess, behind it. And Aquafina just kind of like is a kidder the whole time. She's Aquafina, and she's like, blah, blah, it's goofy. I'm goofy. I say goofy things and do goofy
Yeah, for
things.
sure.
And it's like, okay, well, that's fine. It's a Disney movie, so it's like, okay, whatever. But in this movie, I'm like, I hope Aquafina doesn't like take the stage and go, oh, I'm goofy. I'm so goofy. And she doesn't. She does for the first.
She
when
is
she's
kind of goofy,
introduced,
but it like works because
it works really well.
Shang is also kind of goofy,
Yeah,
Like, they're just
yeah.
kind of like homies, and actually like very relatable to my life. These two characters, where they're just
Yes.
sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, late 20s, early 30s sort of people, and like, I don't know. I work at a fucking car, valet parking,
Because why not? Why
like
would
we
I
go
work
to
anywhere else?
karaoke even though we should go to sleep, like just kind of living
Mhm.
life. Yeah, so like I related to them, and like that
Yeah.
is kind of how my friends are too, where we're all just sort of goofy and stupid.
Yeah. And just and then you have those friends that you talk to who their life is like together, and you're like, yeah, well, so we're like a lawyer, and he's working in marketing, and we make millions of dollars, and you're like, yeah, I'm just having
Dude,
fun.
that lady's argument was so bad. When she's like, yeah, well, we live in a time where you can be blipped at any time, so you should like get a job and just like be a slave to the system. I feel like, right?
That's the
'Cause, like,
exact opposite of what
yeah, I'm
we should
like,
be
I
doing.
feel like they're doing the right thing, like having a good time while you're like, slaving away.
Mhm.
Her argument
Yeah.
was very bad.
It was very, like, and even like her argument at the end where they're telling the story, and she's like, "Okay, well, you guys are just messing with me." I didn't feel like that was sincere, but it was kind of funny. Yeah. What happens? The fight scene with the bus reminded me of like Spider-Man 2
Yeah,
with
sort of.
like Doc Ock, and like the bus is getting ripped apart, and people are in danger, but like Shang Chi can't do anything about it, and
That
yeah,
was something I really, really, really liked about this movie. Was, at the beginning of the movie, he wakes up and it's like, oh, this guy's he's got his life together, he's figured it out, and then it's like kind of the joke that it's like, nah, he's actually just a valet and doesn't have his
Mhm.
life together. And I
Right.
was like, that's funny. And then I was like, fuck, we're gonna have to have one of these movies where it's like he's the chosen one and he finds out he's the chosen one. But then it gets to the bus scene and you find out, No, this guy already kicks ass. Like he's
Yeah,
already like he's not like a superhero per se, but like this dude kicks ass already. He knows how to fight. He's already like his story has already begun, you know?
right. It's
Um
not like a coming of age, an
yeah.
origin story. It's
It
like,
is, but it's like we take it in the middle of it, you know? Like
mhm.
um
Yeah, and the flashback scenes were really well spaced and put in there and stuff like that.
agreed. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So then they get captured, or they kind of like,
Well, they go to China because he got like a note from his sister, and uh Aquafina's like, all right, you tell me about it on the plane. She's like, I'm
yeah,
going with
yeah.
you. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
going. We're friends. I'm going with you.
She's like the
Yeah.
truest homie, dude. Like,
She's like a really fucking good friend in
yeah,
this.
she's like the best friend you could ever have.
Yeah.
And they go to
Even at
China.
the end, even at the end too. Like she's just like, yeah, I'll fucking kill that dragon. Like, whatever. It's like I'm not scared to die. I got your back.
But when we
It's
get
pretty
to
cool.
when we get to China, we find out that his sister has like a fighting ring, and we see some like cameos in there. Like you pointed one out to me. It's one of the red dudes from fucking Iron
From
Man
Iron
3.
Man 3, the guys that explode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he gets like cut by somebody.
And you see him
And then
kind
you
of
see
getting.
he's turning red from the inside out. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Iron Man 3 right there.
Yeah, I didn't catch that, and you caught that shit. That was cool. And then of course Abomination, who looks completely different now, and he kind of
He's got
flops.
like he's got like gills and shit.
And he kind of
Yeah.
like flops around like a weirdo. But I wonder what that means. Like, what does that mean? Seeing him like hanging out with Wong. I guess they're training him to like hopefully join the Avengers or something. But
I feel like he's like, because Wong's, it seems like what Wong is doing is like bringing him with him to like make money or something on these fights. And then he's like, okay, it's time to go back to the raft or whatever. So he like breaks out Abomination from the raft or whatever.
I feel like Wong is doing that to train Abomination because I think they want him to be part of the Avengers. I think that's what they're going. Like he's going to be the new Hulk.
You think there's going to be a new Hulk? You think Hulk's just going to be gone, or it's just like we need two Hulks?
Well, I think Hulk is like pretty badly injured right now.
Yeah, well, and we see him in the end credit. We see his arms in a sling, but he's not Professor Hulk anymore for some reason. He reverted.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird.
He reverted back to Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I wanted to like talk about that. Like, what the fuck is going on? Because like the post-credit scene is
Wong.
It's Wong and Shang and Katie and Bruce and
Miss Marvel,
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And but like Bruce is not. He's not Professor Hulk there. He's just Bruce.
He's just Bruce.
And you know, I was like, well, maybe it's because he's injured. But at the end of Endgame, he's still Hulk. He's still hulked out at the end of Endgame when he's doing the portal thing. So my theory is they probably just didn't have the CG budget to do that for a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
But also now they have to answer that in the next movie. Like, why is he not the Hulk?
They might be going into
be the Hulk anymore, or I don't know.
No, I think because I think there's that. I don't know, because Professor Hulk is like the ultimate Hulk, right? Because he's got like Bruce Banner brain and he's got Hulk power.
I also think he's like not as strong though.
He's not as strong, but he's like controllable, you know, whereas like just straight up Hulk is just like a Hulk smash, you know, anything that comes at me, I'm going to smash. Whereas they're kind of doing on the symbiotic relationship between Hulk and Bruce Banner in Endgame. Whereas in like the earlier ones, it's like Hulk is trying to take over Bruce and Bruce doesn't want to let it. This seems to be more of like an agreeing thing. So maybe this is like one of those just times where Hulk's like, all right, I gotta peace out for a minute.
Yeah, I'm too injured. Yeah.
We're too injured. I gotta, like, you got this.
It'll be easier for you to heal than me. Yeah, that's.
It could be something like that.
Or they could just never explain it.
They could.
Just like they did with Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of.
I feel like Hulk just doesn't get that recognition and that, like, backstory that he deserves.
So I saw a deleted scene. There is a deleted scene in Infinity War where they explain how he becomes Professor Hulk, but they deleted it. And he's like in the Hulkbuster suit, and he's like, he has like a conversation with Hulk, and then as he's getting punched, he like punches a thing, and then he turns into the Hulk, and he's like, what? I guess I'm the Hulk now. And that's how he became Professor Hulk, but they like cut it out of the movie.
Well, maybe it has something to do with what they want to do with him in the future, instead of, like, having him be Professor Hulk all the time. He's interchangeable. I don't know.
No idea. It's very weird.
Let's get back into it.
We'll find out.
Let's get back into it. So they're at this fighting ring where we see Abomination and what's his name?
Wong.
I want to say Jong, but I knew that wasn't right. Wong, fighting in the ring of this, like, tower, I guess, like this construction building, and Shang is looking for his sister, and everybody's like, I don't know your sister. And then she comes out to fight him, and they have like a fight, and she's like pissed at him because he hasn't like contacted her in forever. And then shit happens, and he loses. They meet up in like her office, and we learn that she's been running this whole like fight empire since she left at 19. And it's kind of like,
I like that moment with her and Katie, and she's like, so you left your dad's and then started this like immediately, and she's like, well, if I couldn't have his empire, I had to build my own. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, and she's like, hell yeah.
She was like
hell yeah.
She was a surprise character for me because I had no idea she was going to be in the movie. Like, I don't know anything about Shang Chi, and I had no idea she was going to be like in this movie. And she was like a surprise standout for me, where I was like, she's really cool, and I want to know more about her.
Who's this? His sister?
His sister, yeah.
Yeah. It seems like we'll learn more, too.
Yeah, and it seems like they're setting her up to be like the new villain, which is cool. And like, it's kind of like it's going to be a more three-dimensional character as well, because she definitely worked with Shang on this whole thing. But at the end of the movie, the second post-credits scene is her. She is now the leader of the Ten Rings, which was her father's army, and she's sitting in it all badass and shit, looking very villainous.
I don't think that is the villain, though. I don't feel like she. I don't feel like that necessarily is like, hey, she's a villain. It's just like, no, she's a badass fucking female leader. I think you
have to be a villain. Well, yeah, she is still a badass female leader, but I also think her pose was villainous, and I think you have to be a villain to run the Ten Rings, dog. I think that's just it. Like, you have to be a villain. And here's something I wanna like ask about here, Nick. So most of those people training, a good chunk of them were ladies. We got some ladies.
Yep. Yeah, because she wasn't allowed to train, and she trained herself.
Yeah,
and sure. She thought that was wrong.
But I got a question for you, okay? First of all, badass ladies wearing masks, appreciate that. But also, at the end of Black Widow, the widows were freed. Where'd they all go? Maybe they're part of the Ten Rings now. Maybe they went and joined
the 10 Rings.
Maybe they went and joined the 10 Rings. That's kind of my connection. Is like, maybe these ladies were like, fuck, we got nowhere to go. We got no help from anyone. And they went and joined the 10 Rings.
Yeah. Would that fit with the timeline? Because Black Widow was before the snap.
It was before the snap. But a good chunk of those ladies could have been snapped.
Yeah.
Maybe the ladies that are, working with her.
Yeah, it could be. That's an interesting theory. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah, because they're already badass fighters, So like, and she kind of needs a new army. A lot of the army people died, I guess.
Yeah, which I fucking love that fact. Let's let's speed up to get to that point. So they're in this thing. Their dad comes.
Well, we gotta talk about fucking Trevor.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So their dad comes and like with his 10 rings, his foot soldiers, and like tries to steal their necklaces because their necklaces open a map that he needs. So there's a really cool fight scene on scaffolding, and Katie almost dies, and it's very like Rush Hour 2 vibes where they're doing really cool shit around bamboo scaffolding, and it's really cool. You kind of have the Katie too acting like hanging off the edge of the bamboo like in Rush Hour 2 with Chris Tucker. Yeah. So it's kind of I've kind of got that same sort of
I think the moment that made me go wow with that scene was when they actually got inside of the building, and then they had like the billboards in the background and the lighting, and then they're like fighting in this, and I was just like, wow, this movie's fucking incredible, dude. It's not expecting really good. I was not expecting to see anything like that from a Marvel movie. Like I was just not like, I don't know. It was really fucking good.
So then Shang-Chi has to fight like the guy that trained him, the maskless guy, faceless guy that trained him, and he like beats him, and he's about to kill him, but then his dad just shows up with the 10 rings and rips him off of him, and then takes.
I wish we got to see more of that guy as well. I feel like we didn't have a connection to him, and then at the end of the movie he just gets like killed, and I think it's to show like these things don't fuck around and they'll just kill anything, right? But I think that's why he got killed and why he didn't have a personality, because it's a Marvel movie, and you don't want to be like, wow, this is a cool guy. That's why they didn't kill doesn't make me like it
Blade,
anymore, though. Like,
the Blade guy. And I was like, oh, if they killed the Blade guy, it would be really cool, but they didn't.
I would have preferred if they killed the Blade guy, because that guy sucked. All right,
he did. I mean, he was fine as an actor, but he was just
he was horrible as an actor. Every fucking line of dialogue that man said, it was horrible. I liked his little sword arm thing. That was cool, but I did not like that actor at all.
Really?
I did not enjoy him. Not in the slightest. I thought he was like.
I thought he was okay.
I thought it was just like, oh, we gotta have this like this sword man running around because it's cool,
I think he should have had less lines. Like he doesn't seem like the right hand man, if you will, the right hand, because his right hand's the sword. But he didn't seem like the right hand man for the 10 rings. He felt more kind of like I'm the muscle. That's kind of what he felt like,
which he was.
But they kind of gave him more of a part, and then they save him. But then they fucking so they're captured and they're in prison, and also in prison with them is the fucking Mandarin actor from Iron Man 3, Trevor
Slattery.
Trevor Slattery, who plays like he's acting as the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, and Iron Man comes up and he's like, whoa, man, I'm just like an actor and I got this gig and I'm a druggie and stuff like that. And we get like a whole backstory of what happened to him. He went to federal prison, and then since he
sobered up.
He sobered up because he was in federal prison, and then since he mocked the real Mandarin, who is kind of sort of the dad in this, then the dad's like, you're gonna die because
the dad is like the real Mandarin, but he doesn't call himself the Mandarin. In fact, he makes fun of the fact that people are scared of an orange. I thought that was pretty funny.
They're like, the Mandarin's kind of dumb, and they don't actually, I don't think they'll do anything with the Mandarin other than
I think the dad is the Mandarin, and that's it.
So the dad captures him because he mocked him and he was going to kill him, but then he did like a freaking Simple Jack thing, I guess, from Tropic Thunder. We don't see it, but he's like, please don't hurt me.
He said he did a scene from Macbeth, and people really liked it, so they kept him around.
Yes, so they kept him around as a jester. And now
this guy's superpower is that he's just like this amazing actor. That's his superpower.
I guess, and then he's just in prison the whole time, and he has like this fucking creature that has no face, has 4 legs and 4 wings, and he's just like, Milton. What the fuck? Milton. And in Iron Man 3, he was kind of like oh god, really? This is kind of stupid. But in this movie, it fucking
It
works.
works so well. Yeah.
It fucking works. He is really good comic relief, and they
Dude,
don't overuse him a
my
lot.
favorite scene. So like, after that they go back to their mom's place to like warn her village, like, hey,
Dad's coming.
yeah, dad's coming to destroy the village. But like my favorite scene with Trevor Slattery is when they see that fucking thing, that like thing that's walking across. He's like, that's a weird looking horse.
Why is it looking at
Why
me?
is it staring at me? That was so fucking funny, dude. That
Like, yeah. The whole part of like them going through the trees in this car, the bamboo forest in this car, he's like, these creatures are far beyond our understanding and knowledge, and who am I to? Oh, he says you can go now, and it's just like, okay, great, fuck
Yeah.
it. And then they fucking drive through, and he's just all chill, like he's seen this before, and he's chill, and he's just like, yeah, it's whatever. And like he's like, make a hard right, and he's like translating for this little fucking flying puffball
yeah.
for them to get through the forest into the village.
So I said
And-
this to you yesterday, Nick, that to make the Star Wars comparison, because my life always just comes back to Star Wars. So in Episode 8, a lot of people did not like Episode 8, and I think that is fair. I thought it was an okay movie. It's not my least favorite movie. It's not my favorite movie.
Yep.
But then like Episode 9 came out, and they like undid everything about Episode 8, and like it was very reactionary. It was very much a reaction to that.
Yep.
And the same is true about Iron Man 3, right? A lot of people were pissed off about the Mandarin being
the Mandarin, yeah,
turning out
mostly.
to be Trevor Slattery. Like, people were really fucking pissed about that. But instead of them like retconning that in this movie, they just doubled down on it. They're like,
Yeah.
nah, dude, Trevor Slattery, he's like fucking hilarious though. Like, and he was hilarious in Iron Man 3. Like, there's no denying that.
He was funny. Like he was just like this, drug junkie who was just like, hey man, I'm just here. I just do what they tell me to do because
Yeah, now he's
that's
just
my
like this
personality.
funny recovering addict guy, and like, yeah, I liked it a lot, and I like the fact that they were just like, no, that's how our universe is, and that remains the same. Our inner universe is the same. This is not a reaction. This is just a continuation, and that is a way better way to tell stories instead of like trying to retcon it. How about you just like you work with what you got,
around it.
Yeah, you work with what you
around
got, and like that's just how it is.
It's like, yeah, we fucked up, but that we told the story, and we're just
That's how it is. Yeah,
We're
you
gonna
got to
tweak
continue
the
on.
story a little so that it makes sense.
Same
later
is true
on.
with Suicide Squad, right? Like the new Suicide
Yep.
Squad, where while it doesn't feel connected to the first one, it still has its ties to the first one, where it's like, Boomerang and Harley are still friends and all that stuff, and like Rick Flag and Harley have a history and stuff. So like, you just have to like continue on, like instead of retconning.
It's the best way to do it. Like you're gonna trip, you just got to get up and do it again. You can't like you can't trip and then go, no, that didn't happen. I didn't trip, guys. I didn't trip. It just makes you look bad if you do that. But they do it so well. So then they get into the village, and their aunt like is like, hey, I'm your aunt. We've never met. I'm gonna give you a big old hug. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a big old hug.
And they're all like, yo, COVID.
Yeah. So then the village kind of like accepts them after they like walk around and like learn about their mom and who these people are and stuff, and they do like training, and the whole village is super welcoming, and they're like, hey, this door can't be opened because we've been guarding it, and there's like a fucking monster back there.
Yeah, just random monster. Yeah.
Don't open that door, people will die. And so there's like kind of like a training montage where
totally.
Where like
I liked it though. I thought it was cool.
It was good. Yeah, it was like
a good training montage.
Shang Chi is like training with his aunt, and she's like teaching him like kind of like a passive palm instead of being so aggressive. She's like, open your hands, be one with whatever.
I felt bad for the sister though, because like she's like, now you're not alone and you can train with us, and then she still ended up just like training alone.
Yeah, she did, but it didn't seem like anybody had that weapon. It was just her.
Yeah, and that weapon is fucking sick, dude. She does some really cool stuff with that.
The kunai with chain is pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And so she's training. Like, you can't train next to somebody with that weapon.
Very Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool. Probably one of the hardest weapons I can imagine that you would use is just a dagger on a rope.
And even Katie gets a little arrow training.
Yeah, I was getting into that. And Katie Aquafina just randomly picks up arrows, and she's like, I guess I'm delivering arrows. And then she ends up at like a range, and they're like, let her shoot. And she does really well. And she even gets into like the final fight and stuff like that. So it's a really cool little montage. Then the 10 rings come, and they have like a fight sequence, which is okay. It's probably the weakest fight sequence in this. We see a couple of cool things happen.
Within that like battle, yeah. But then the stuff between Shang and the dad was
that's really cool.
Good stuff.
So
good stuff.
There's and they don't like overstep. It's kind of like a Twilight battle where it's like good and evil, werewolves and vampires like clashing, and then
yeah, for sure.
And it's like, oh no, if this goes on, it's gonna like ruin. But then it doesn't overstay its welcome. It shows a couple of cool things. It shows people like getting killed and whatnot, and like lions fucking tackling people and killing them. But then it goes shortly after that into the fight between the son and the dad, which is really cool. And some words are exchanged and
some
stuff
good
like
words.
that.
Like that moment when he's like, what makes you think that she would even want to see you if you did get her out of there? And it's like, damn, that's fucking harsh. And then he just fucking slaps him.
Just fucking kills him. He literally kills him.
Slams that boy.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this too, like from the very beginning of the movie, one of the first sections we see is like the dad just like kicking ass with the rings, and I love the way the rings work, dude. There's so much there's so many opportunities that these rings can be used just for like really cool
they show them off too.
Yeah, they do. Like, and he like shoots them off, and he like runs on them, and like he like
shoots them into the ground to jump really far.
It reminded me of the stuff in Black Panther when like he gets the upgrade on his suit where it absorbs damage and then like blasts it off. And I remember seeing that in the movie, and I was like, damn, that is fucking cool. I'm excited to see more of that. And I felt that way about these, where it's just like, that is so cool, and I cannot wait to see these more, because we didn't really even get to see Shang use them too much, although when we did see Shang use them, it was fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, Shang gets like killed pretty much, and the dad makes it to this door, and he's like, I'm gonna release my dead wife, from this door. So he just starts punching it with the with the rings.
Fucking idiot, dude.
And then all of these like beasts start coming out. All these winged soul eaters is what they're called.
Yeah.
Parrot demons. And they just start fucking going to the battlefield where all these like werewolves and vampires are fighting. And they just start killing people, like straight up killing people, like taking their souls and flying away. And those people don't fucking come back at the end of the movie.
They're dead.
Dead, like a whole bunch of people.
The unfortunate thing though is like I feel like we didn't get enough of this village for me to care that much.
Yeah.
And same with the bad guys. Like I didn't, and maybe it's because it's a Marvel movie, but like I just didn't get the sense of like, oh, how sad. I think
the only
easy
one
to ignore that.
I think the only one that I really felt anything for was the guy who was training Aquafina, training Katie, and he gets like hit from behind and then soul sucked away, and it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I wish their relationship was a bit more fleshed out, because I liked their weird bond going on. But
so then Shang-Chi is fallen to the bottom of the lake or whatever, and a fucking dragon saves his ass.
He breathes the dragon's gross ass nostril breath.
Yeah, and he lives, and then the dragon takes him up to fight his dad again, and this time he's fucking ready.
Yeah, and at this point, I was just like, yo, I guess the Marvel movies are just doing magic now. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess we're just doing fucking dragons and magic and shit.
we got demon soul eater flying bat things,
Yeah.
and fucking a dragon, a lake dragon, like from Spirited Away kind of dragon, where it's just like, I'm the dragon of the lake. I live down here. I protect these people of the village. This is some anime shit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And so the
Because
dragon
like
drops off.
most of the Marvel movies are like, even Doctor Strange is like, well, it's the science of the books, and it's like, and everything else is like it's in space, so it's like space science. Where this
Right.
movie is like, it's not science at all, dude. This shit's just magical. We're just
It's
magic
mystical,
people.
yeah.
We're just
Yep.
fucking magical people, dude. Don't worry
Yep.
about it. You know?
And it does it so well too. Like
Yeah. I was like,
it's-
I buy this shit. This is fucking
Yeah.
sick.
So then the dragon like drops off Shang-Chi to fight his dad, and then goes and eats a whole bunch of these little things as the fight's still going on. And this fight between Shang-Chi and his dad, fucking great.
Oh, so awesome, dude.
So good. You actually get to see like the way the rings move, and
And like Shang ends up like catching 5 of them, so then they each have 5, and they're like fighting 5 on 5 and shit. Oh
Yeah.
man, that fight
It's-
scene was so good.
it's so anime too, because at one point he like the final blow, he like sends him up, he like throws the rings underground, knocks Shang into the air. Dad goes up, and then final blow punches him as he blocks, and he goes crashing into the ground. The ground goes and like super anime, dust everywhere. The dad's standing there like I'd killed him. And then the son fucking walks out with all the 10 rings just on his side, and I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, that shit was so sick, dude. And then
And-
then a big dragon comes out, big evil dragon.
Big demon dragon with tentacles and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Well, what I thought was like, oh, they stopped the door from being open, and like
Yeah, I thought that was the end of the
Shang-Chi
movie.
was just going to use like the 10 rings to like seal it up or something like that. Or the dragon was going to come over and seal it up. No, that didn't happen. The dragon fucking breaks free and just starts going for the village. And this is a really cool scene too, because then you get 2 dragons
now we got a
fighting in the air.
kaiju battle.
Yeah.
We just get a fucking kaiju battle in the middle of this movie, dude. So fucking crazy. Like, I never expected to see this in a Marvel movie. Like, we're getting fucking kaiju battles in Marvel, dude. It was sick as hell.
It was so fucking cool. And yeah, we got that. Dragons are fucking fighting. The dragon of the river is like throwing water at this other one, trying to capture it, but it gets souls from these little soul devils and gets stronger, and then it nearly kills the dragon, but then Aquafina comes and saves the day by shooting it in the throat with an arrow. And then Shang-Chi just some really fucking anime bullshit and just blows this bad dragon up.
Dude,
and it's like
he shoots the rings into his stomach, like, or into his heart, and then as he's free falling, he's like spinning and like spinning the fucking dragon's heart out of his. It's the coolest shit I've ever seen.
really fucking
Like,
cool.
normally these fucking Marvel battles at the end of the movies are just sort of like, this is just like they're shooting lasers and shit at each other. This shit was so sick, man. This shit was so good.
Yeah, I agree. I fucking agree. And then he blows the dragon up. I guess they don't have to worry about that fucking thing coming back through the door.
They took care of that.
They took care of that. And then everything's cool. Many people died. So many people died. You see them like littering all over the floor.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh man, the dragon's gonna bring him back or whatnot, because they do like a candlelit vigil and the dragon's like swarming around. I'm like, they're gonna bring those fucking people back. Nope, they're fucking dead.
They're dead.
And then that's pretty much it.
Yep.
That's pretty much the movie. Then they like talk to their friend, and Wong comes by and he's like, hey, I need you, and you come here.
I don't know
right
why
in
he
the middle
needs
of this-
Katie, but I guess he was just like,
yeah, he was
I remember you. You could come too.
Yeah. And yeah, in the middle of like this cafe area, and everybody's just like, what the fuck just happened? Because he opens a portal and pulls these guys in.
I said something. I posted this on Twitter. I saw that you liked it as well. I appreciate that. I said Wong is the new Coulson. He's the new fucking Coulson, dude.
He's the new Coulson for sure, dude.
He's the one that connects all these characters together now because he's going to be in Spider-Man. He's in Doctor Strange. Like
he's gonna be in Doctor Strange.
He's the new Coulson, and he's fucking awesome, dude. Like
he is cool.
He was just sort of like the comedic relief character in Doctor Strange, but as these movies have come out, he's become more and more cool. But still,
well,
funny.
he's still
funny.
comic relief because in that end credit scene where they're talking about, we don't know where your rings came from. They're from like an alien place, like that we've never seen, and they're too old to count.
Do you think that's going to lead into Eternals?
Maybe.
Because I don't know what the threat is, but
I don't know what the next threat is either. I haven't read anything online about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
But then he's like, okay, that was a lot of information after the meeting was done, and he's like, you two should probably go get some rest, go home, and they're like, yeah. And then we see all three of them, including Wong, fucking at karaoke, just singing their hearts out, and it's like, this is fucking.
That makes so much sense for Wong, because Wong just seems like, I take this shit seriously, but I'm also trying to have a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Wong is cool as hell. I like Wong. Should we pull up the list?
Yep, let's pull up the list. I have it up. I just have to share my screen. This one, go live. Ba-da-ba-da-boom. Read them out for me, baby.
Sure. We've got, at number 1, we've got Loki. At number 2, we've got Iron Man. At number 3, we've got WandaVision. At number 4, we've got Captain America, the First Avenger. At number 5, we got The Avengers. At number 6, we've got Black Widow. At number 7, we've got Falcon Winter Soldier. At number 8, we've got Iron Man 3. At number 9, we've got Iron Man 2. And at number 10, we've got Incredible Hulk. And of course, dead last, we got Thor.
Yep. So, with this movie being out, I know it's the first time we watched it. Yep. So, I feel like these numbers could change a little bit. Where would you think it goes? Because I have a place for it. I want to know where you would put it.
I'd say number 3.
Damn, that's exactly what I was thinking, dude.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I was thinking.
I think Iron Man is better than it, just marginally, though. Like,
yeah, like it's.
And honestly,
I could see it being above Iron Man. I
could too. I think Iron Man just edges it out just because it was the first one. You know, like I think it gets a little credit for that. But yeah I definitely think it's there. I am actually kind of surprised that we have Loki that high. The more I think about it, but like whatever, it is what it is.
Loki was so good, though.
It was. I'm not
I would also like to add something else to this list.
Oh, I don't think that counts. But I really feel like it's very loosely related. But
I know it's fucking bad though.
I've only seen the first episode, so I really
okay.
I really can't say too much.
All right, yeah.
I plan on just like binging it when it's all done. You know?
Yeah.
I'll just binge through it. I've heard that like some people are liking like the new one that's about like Doctor Strange and
so the Doctor Strange one has a really, really good story, and if it was a movie, it would be incredible. However, with the animation style that they have, it is not expressive whatsoever. There's no expression on anybody's faces. They don't get expression off at all, and they focus on the wrong things in these little short series, because it's about like, what if instead of instead of him losing his hands, he lost his love. I forget what her name is. Rachel, I think. The other doctor that he liked.
Is her name actually Rachel? Because she's played by Rachel McAdams.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I think
movie.
Yeah, so
she died?
She
didn't die in the movie though.
Not in the movie. No, she dies in the what if. It's like what if she died instead of him breaking his hands. And the whole thing is like he wants to save her, but it's like a pivotal point in the time and history that no matter what he does, he can't. Because it's like if she didn't die, then he would never have become um, Doctor Strange as we know him. And it's just like one of those things like
Yeah, because
you can't change it.
she kind of kept him grounded. Yeah.
Right. You can't change it because you are part of it, kind of thing. Like, um, if you are going to change it, you're not going to be able to. So it's him reliving her death over and over again. And he just like, he's sick of it and he wants to save her. So he tries to like become this all powerful thing to change like pivotal points. And so he becomes like this grotesque, like mutilated guy, and he saves her, but the whole world crumbles, and it's really sad. And if they did it right, it would have been like actually heart wrenching. But like the faces and all of like the it's just so the animation is
like
so
that animation.
bad. And
But
I can't believe that people are actually liking this. Like the story's good, but man, it does not come through in these animations. And
yeah, it's so like unsettling. I feel like that animation. It also looks cheap. I don't know. There's something about
it looks so cheap. Yeah, and
I'm sure it's not though, and that's what's like surprising, you know, because I'm
yeah,
sure that animation style isn't cheap, but it looks cheap, you know.
Yeah, it's the What If series is just kind of. I would say it's for kids because,
but it's not. Like it's pretty intense.
It's intense. Like all the things they deal with, like
even
all
that
of
first
the Avengers,
episode I saw, I was like, it's kind of intense. Like,
yeah, all of the
like
Avengers dying. Yeah, all the Avengers dying is one of them, and that deals with some really horrible things. But like, there's so many shitty jokes in there that like kids would laugh at, but it's not good. Like when Thor dies and Agent Coulson's like, but it smells so good. And freaking Nick Fury's like, yeah, his hair does smell good. And he's fucking dead on like this table.
That
and
reminds
it's like,
me. That
and
reminds
they're like,
me of. That reminds me of
good.
Ultron when fucking Quicksilver dies, and then like Clint like does some sort of quip. We'll get to that soon. But
Yeah.
I remember that shit where I was like, fuck, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. And I don't know how people are like actually thinking this. Like I understand that they think it's good, but it's like this could be so much better. With the points that they have are so deep and so different that it's like this could be really fucking good. But the animation and some of the lines are just like, it's really bad. It just doesn't come off.
Yo, I'm
well.
looking at our list right here. I'm actually kind of like, I'm happy with this list. The more
Yeah.
I'm like looking at it, the more I'm like, yeah, that is a good list. I think it's a good ranking. I don't think anyone could be mad at us. And if you are, fucking leave a comment.
Maybe here.
You think people are mad about Iron Man 2 being that low?
No, but Iron Man 3 above Iron Man 2, maybe. I don't know. Black Widow as high as it is, maybe. I don't know.
But like that's only getting lower and lower as we do, you know? Like
yeah.
As we keep going, like that's just gonna get lower and lower.
Yep. But yeah, Shang Chi, sorry. Super fucking good, dude.
Very good movie.
If you haven't seen it,
movies by far.
It is definitely one of the best Marvel movies that is out.
Because like
obviously.
I like Ragnarok a lot, which we won't get to for a while. But like the reason I like that one so much is because it's so funny. And this one does it for, you know, it's not a typical Marvel movie. Because Marvel movies are typically like, that's really good because it was so funny. Like I feel the same about Ant-Man, where it's like, that was good because it was so funny. Where it's like, this one's not really that funny. It's just fucking good. It's just
it has funny moments, but like from like
heart.
Two characters.
This movie
it's got
has
a lot of
heart, and like the action scenes are actually like really fucking sick. Where like a lot of the action scenes in Marvel movies are sort of, I don't know, kind of boring in a lot of the movies. Where it's like I'm more excited to see like, you know, Iron Man talking to Bruce than I am seeing, you know, Thor fight something in a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
But like this one, I was like, I kind of just want to see Shang just fight everyone all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. in interesting locations.
And I think it makes a lot of
Absolutely.
sense, you know, because like a lot of like you know, like yeah, like Jackie Chan movies or
Hmm.
Bruce Lee
Yeah,
movies. You know, it makes sense that they're like, we're gonna pay tribute to that shit and like have really good action in these movies.
and they
And
do.
I'm very excited to see him in future movies, which I was not expecting to like go into this movie and be like, I can't wait to see it. Like before this movie, I was like, I had no interest in him at all. And now I'm
Right.
like, dude, I cannot wait to see him in the Avengers or whatever he's gonna be in next. You know,
Yeah. In
so
the next like Doctor Strange movie or something like that.
might show up in Eternals. Who knows? I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it.
But
But
it's really good. It's really good. Give it a watch. I don't think it's on streaming,
no,
so
nope.
got to go to the theater for it. It's totally worth it. Unless your theater has a fucking a buzzy speaker, it's still worth it. It just ruins some points.
Yeah, support your
Um,
theaters though if you're
yeah.
vaccinated.
Yes.
If
Please get
not,
out
stay home.
there. Wear a mask. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with what the fuck are we going to be back
Thor,
next?
the Dark
Thor.
World.
Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, that's the next one. All right. See you
Yeah.
guys later.